So I'm here with Sheri, and Sheri's one of our clients that have really pulled a lot of result, empowerment, and healing completely to a whole new level with us here in the Energetics program and all the other things that we do here. So it's a pleasure and honor to have you here, Sheri. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Scott. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Okay, so, let's get started because you have a lot of experience in the spiritual realm. You're a healer in your own side of things, and I just want to start at the very beginning some years ago when we got started working together. It was around 2020-ish, right, when everything was kind of going on here. So, tell me a little bit more, the backtrack 3 years. Where were you when we first started talking through some of the empowerment and some of the things initially? Where were you at?
Yeah, so me, I was just trying to understand how to make it all work. I wanted to have my business successful. I wanted to have lots of money, just be able to step into a new mindset. So coming across your stuff really helped put it all into perspective of how to stay in the moment, in that vortex of ask, believe, receive, allow yourself to visualize it and put it forward. I've created a lot of success just from those three things, and bringing it forward in the program helped me to be able to, shift a lot of things in my life that weren't working to make them and help them align with what I had as a goal and a vision for my own company and myself.
Yeah. So it sounds, for a lot of people that we work with, it's like they've been studying personal development a long time. They've heard of law of attraction. They've heard of this stuff. But it seems like they just don't have a system to be able to take all this stuff and put it into something practical. Is that kind of where you felt as well with yourself? There's just so much to study and to look into, or something different?
I had tried others. Your technique seemed to work the best to kind of keep everything in a flow, if that makes sense. So your process helps to keep everything in an alignment that helps you see that end result and then feel the joy of having it. I never really attached into, I need to feel something outside of myself. It always just came back to me. And I think the process helps you to do that, stay within. When you can understand how you feel from being able to manifest, it's the feeling that carries you forward. Holding on to that imagery of what you want is important, but it's about living your day-to-day, just trusting that everything is going to align and not chasing after the end result. And, Bob Proctor says it too. I think the one thing that I've always taken from your stuff with working into this second program was the hourglass, how everything is in the now moment. And we try to do the forwards and backwards in time and what's going to manifest in 6 months. We truly don't see all of that. It's just about living in the moment. Yeah. And I'll actually share this too. Going through your program, we wanted to move, and I saw an image in one of my manifestations of a house that I would live in. And during that visualization, I thought to myself, this is like the weirdest outlay that kind of transpired in there. And it came on the market. So it's just trusting the universe to show you those things too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said it well, and you're very good and skilled in that department of having the faith and belief, because you've done all this work on yourself for so many years that you have that idea of where this could take you, but not trying to guess on how it's going to come and trying to get into those wacky thoughts, just staying in the faith and moving forward. Well, tell us about that house coming on the market. It sounds like it was like divine timing, coincidence, as people talk about, right? So tell us more.
I'll leave it. Well, I'll share. Like, it had black sliding doors, but they were enormous. Like, they weren't just regular doors. The stairway went up the side of a wall, looking from the kitchen, the island. There was no upper covers. When it came on the market, my jaw hit the floor. I was just like, oh, that is so cool. We didn't actually end up buying it because we've changed since then. We want to have horses. So that shifted our manifestation to be able to align it into the next. So you can feel disappointed that you're not going to buy that. But for me, it was just the giddiness of that actually came on the market. And there it was. The exact thing that I saw was right there. And it was tangible. Like, it was mine. The universe literally delivered it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like one of those times where you're like, there's no way this came into place, right? But, the more you do this stuff, the more you say, of course that came into existence in that belief, right?
So, and so many manifestations. Like, I've manifested 2 vehicles since then. Like, I just, in 3 days, I manifested a truck that literally you can't buy in Canada. And it showed up 3 days. I bought it with cash. And I was just like, cool, the universe gave it all to me. We own a laser machine and literally had 17 grand to buy it within days. Like, if you just trust that you're asking for those things that provides for something for yourself or someone else, the universe will deliver with all the money. It's just trusting that something outside of you has got to.
Yeah, perfectly said. And being able to get into that tapping of the higher power, right? And that being in that faith is everything. So tell us a little bit more, like you had so many breakthroughs with your own work that you do, but also here with us. So tell me more about like, what were some critical pieces that helped you break through? Was it the coaching? Was it the healing? Was it the manifestation accelerator where you could really have those, here's the action to do each week and have that accountability? What was the big thing for you?
I think for me, I'll put it down into three things. I think being able to go through a process, slow, steady, gentle, was really helpful. Taking the certain components that I needed was really helpful for me because I learned very quickly. So it's not always that I needed to come to class every week, but I could take the gist of what we were doing in that week and just keep applying it until it all cleared itself out. I tend to work at a rapid pace. So for me, I understand a lot of things the moment I hear it, see it, or do it. So I feel like most people need to go through the backstory. Here's why it's not working. And you help them walk through that with that going through the childhood. Here's the reason why. Being able to take that next component. Okay, here's what I want to manifest from that. I can't be in my way to have that component. And then coming into all the teaching programs like the monthly coaching or the weekly coaching, that helps to solidify everything. Being able to do that over and over again. A lot of people need that repetition. I think that's great for a lot of people. I did it at the beginning. The repetition was great. And then it was like, okay, let's go. And you always reached out and said, okay, here's what you can do next. And here's what you can do next. So I feel like you're very flexible that way where you can tell where your students are at and give them those extra challenges or extra things to work on, which not a lot of people do. I do it in my own practice as well. Hey, what do you need? Hey, try this. Being able to multi-shift when people need that different explanation or to uncover it in a different way. Not everyone learns the same. I think you adapt very well into people's learning, mine at least, because the way my brain thinks is not the same as everybody else's.
Sure. I think that you said it so well of having that flexibility because it can't always be a cookie cutter model. Like you can have a system that is proven to work for everybody, but once you're ready for a next level, and you might be stuck at a plateau, it's like, well, each little trauma that we want to heal is going to be slightly different. A lot of the same themes we see, but we need to meet you where you're at. So I really appreciate you saying that because it's so important. Can you think of even a time during the coaching together over the years that you felt like one of the modalities or exercises was really important for you and that made a breakthrough from going through the childhood healing memories or all the way to just a simple idea of day-to-day parallel reality, surfing and being in those different realities? What was a big one for you?
Yeah, so I think going back to the childhood for me, when I first moved to a different town, the circumstances in which I had to move there, kind of jumbled up a lot of old feelings. So being able to bring that up was really, really important. And being able to shift that timeline was really important. That actually carried into the next one where we were doing the visualizations and I actually stood on my back deck. And still to this day, I see that same image if I'm there. It's like being able to look out at the land and the sunset and all these things. And that's still a very prominent vision in my head that it's like, I'll take that over let's go. Let's produce that. And being able to shift into that next timeline for yourself, quantum jump, quantum leap, setting that as your goal, it works amazing. I think we did one exercise. I had a little bit of a wobble where it was like, you're like, yeah, let's do 300K a month. And I'm just like, well, yeah, okay. Yeah. So trusting that process that says, you know what, I'm already there. I'm already the millionaire. I'm already the billionaire. However that wants to come in, it's just letting the universe show you. Whatever the next step is, it will be shown.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of these steps you followed through and you're a great practicer of the info. So anybody listening in, there's a very big difference between just getting these techniques around parallel realities and then actually practicing it. And you're masterful at practicing, and that's why the results have come in, right? So yeah. How about your income level? I know even when you started to really go into your own business, well before 2020, area to now, how drastic is the change from when you were working to the business? Where'd your income level go over the years?
Yeah, so I was actually a carpenter before I even started this. So I was making about $37,000 a year. I make 7 to 8 figures.
Yeah.
And that keeps growing, like month to month. I just ask the universe for whatever I need and it shows up. So one month I made, I think, 68,000. Just allowing the universe to provide whatever it is I need. And it's showing up faster. Like the more I surrender, the more it shows up faster without having to do as much work. So for me, it's just kind of playing and coaching and helping other people to see this empowerment.
Absolutely. A lot of people listening will be like, well, Sheri can jump from 37 a year to having 67,000 a month coming in and beyond that, but maybe I can't. So would you say anything to those individuals that maybe are more at a journey where it's like, okay, maybe I've done well in my career, maybe they've hit 10,000, maybe they've hit 50,000 a month, but they're feeling like they're at a plateau, they're stuck. What would you recommend for them when they're just at this point where it's like, I feel like no matter what I try, things aren't moving forward? Is there anything in particular that we did together that helped you get past any plateaus, any stuck points?
The biggest thing is become your observer. We had to observe a lot of things. I think the moment you become the observer and start to notice what's coming to you or at you and then stopping that, that's key. I think a lot of people get jumbled in this mindset as like, oh, I can't do that. I can't have that. You can have that, but I can't. I'm doing this and I'm stuck in this old pattern. I become the observer. Observe what's going on. I had to too, right? When I was making $37,000 a month, it came with a lot of other things attached to it. So that's where I was working like 9, 10, 12 hours a day in 2 companies, and I was still only making that. So the moment I surrendered and let go, everything started to pick up. And it's trusting. It is. And I know trust is hard, but when we come into trust and surrender is you controlling. You want to control everything that's exterior to you, but when you surrender, you let go of the control and just allow. And so when you become the observer, that allows things to start to shift for you. And you teach that in all of your stuff from day one, and all the modules. It's the same thing. It's relax. Let's sit in this. Let's navigate it. Let's open it up. So I think anybody who's ready for that next step, jump in and try it. What's the worst that can happen? That you fall in love with it like everybody else does, right? You have such a presence of teaching. And I think that comes with time, and that comes with patience, and, being able to still be the teacher, but then be the student. I think that's always a goal in my mind as well. When I teach, I'm still the student, but I'm still the teacher. I'm always learning something new as I navigate, as are you. When you find that one little thing that's new, it's like, okay, let's try this now, right? So you keep incorporating something new, and we can't be afraid to try something new. You can't be afraid to ask for what you want. I think that's key in what you teach from beginning to end, is ask for what you want. Let the universe just give it to you.
Yeah. That beginner's mind again, that's another masterful skill you have, that you almost go to each person and it's like, what can I learn? And each person in this world is our teacher. Even the person that's working the job over here and maybe isn't an actual coach and teacher, we look at them and say, what can I learn, right? And we're always saying, what can I learn better? And so a lot of people listening to this will say, well, I've heard about law of attraction. I've heard about the creative visualization, the gratitude lists, right? But there's a deeper level to all of this. And that's part of our mission here, is saying, how can we help people identify that, okay, like attracts like is part of the process, of course. What you think you become, of course, is part of the accuracy of what happens. But there's a much deeper level, a lot of stuck energies in the body and different things. So can you share a little bit with anybody that says, well, I've already studied law of attraction. How is this any different, this deep healing and parallel realities? Any thoughts on that, on what's a little different between those?
Yeah, so some of the stuff I teach has actually helped me through this, but I think the overall is still the same, and that's understanding that you hold your emotions. And when you let go of those emotions that don't serve you, it allows more to come in. Your manifestations speed up, they're faster. Look how fast everything is accelerating right now. So if you're still stuck in your old wounds and your old stories and patterns, it's going to feel like you're trudging through quicksand. Or if you pretend like you're water doesn't go uphill. But we always think we have to climb the highest freaking mountain to be able to accomplish anything. It's not true. I've seen people who struggle and then turn around and manifest massive things. And, you have to have a choice of what you want. Being in struggle and being in lack is not where we want to be. Right? So I think it doesn't matter what job you have. It doesn't matter what you're trying to create. It's how you feel. That feeling of empowerment, that feeling of appreciation and thankfulness and gratitude, the more you step into those, the more the past just starts to release itself. We don't have to hold those patterns. We've all grown up with traumas. I don't know anyone who hasn't been, scolded or told no or any of that. Those are all our traumas we hold on to. But at some point you have to want more. And I think that's where a lot of people get into this, stepping into laws of attraction and into the next level is they're tired of the old story they've been telling themselves. So it's time to rewrite that story. This is how you do it. This is how you start and you manifest and you come in and you write your story every day.
Yeah. Releasing that old story, right? Bringing in the new. It's so much more empowering and evolving, right?
Yes.
So, as we come to a conclusion into all this, there's three things that usually pop up for some people as well. It's just feeling like, can I invest something like this? This is not going to the dollar store and picking up a few items, right? It's not going to your local Walmart or Target and picking out a $20 item. This is a pretty sizable investment in yourself. And, when it comes down to that, it can be scary and uncomfortable and exciting, yet very nerve-wracking. And a lot of this work is just the feeling you're getting into a different frequency. It's unfamiliar. You've never been there before. So can you talk on that a little bit that, first and foremost, how much do you think you actually invest in yourself monetarily wise? 20,000, 100,000? How much have you invested so far in yourself?
I'm to the point where my taxes won't allow me to spend anymore.
Yeah.
I'm at my max capacity. Some years it's 60, 70,000.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is knowing that it's value. What's the value to you that you're getting out of it? Right? And that value is priceless. You can't put a value on that. What you get out of it is what you own up to. Right? So if you're investing that money and you're like, oh yeah, I just spent 10 grand, but you don't show up, that's on you. That's not on anybody else. Right? So for me to invest in myself, it's something I wanted to do. I needed to do. I wanted to change my entire life. I went from poverty when I was a child to, now living in $1 million homes. It's, you make that choice for yourself of what you want. Right? No one chooses the poverty. You choose to stay in the mindset. This is, I have to be stuck there. Once you start to shift that mentality, you don't need to be stuck anywhere. You can live a full life and not do anything.
Right. It's the value. You said it so well there. It's the value tied to it, right? Because some people buy a $30,000 car or get it financed, right? But then putting that value into itself, it feels like, well, it's not tangible, right? I don't see it. But the growth that you'll feel as a human being financially and all of that comes with it. I think that was super, super great. And then for anybody out there that feels like time is really difficult, because you and I are both, we actually had a couple of weeks or maybe 2 months where we didn't get this interview yet, right? Because we're both very, very busy. So, when it comes down to the program or study in general, some people say, I'm just too busy. What would you say to those people that just feel time and they're feeling overwhelmed? Is it possible for them to do something like this?
So I'm actually going to refer back to one of the things you gave us. The very first time I met you was the 5-day, come on, let's do a 5-day, let's make $1,000. And yeah. I remember you saying, okay, your homework is to manifest $1,500 by the weekend over. And I literally was sitting on my couch reading my book on Sunday going, shit, I did not do my homework. Scott's going to do this. And I'm like, okay, no, he's not. But I need to do my homework. So I got up and I wrote on a piece of paper, I just now received $1,500. I put my book down and I went back to my book. Like 10 seconds later, $1,500 came in from 2 people who bought courses for me. So for me, I really learned at that moment that I don't have to really do anything. I can literally just say, universe, I would like this. Thank you. I love you. However you want to envision it, ding, 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 that's coming in my bank account, whatever it is. If you trust in it, it will show up.
Yeah.
Right? So the investment you invest in yourself, if you don't have time, make time. Right? One thing I will say about this entire journey for myself the last 4.5 years is when I wanted to meditate, I have 2 young children, I would literally tell them, I'm going in a mommy timeout and I'm going to put these on. I'm not going to listen. For an hour, I'm just going to be with myself. And the nice thing about it, I think you talked about this in one of your videos, is everything gets distracted. In our coaching calls, one of the girls had children, and they were loud and noisy, and you're like, well, they're blessings. And they truly are. I am blessed to have my children. I love my kids. The moment I put my headphones on, it's like I can tune it out. And if they come and go, mum, 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 I'll be like, yeah, I hear you. I'm going to stay in this, right? It's only 1 hour. You're old enough. Go find something to do for an hour, right? So it's giving yourself that time that says, this is for me. So investment is huge. If you're not willing to invest the time in yourself, you're investing it in maybe the wrong things. Work can't consume your entire life. That I know. I've run 2 companies side by side. Not worth it. Not worth that at all, because you get drained trying to wiggle your way back and forth between 2 different things that are in 2 different dimensions, right? Carpentry over here, and then you've got this. The interesting thing is, if you allow it in just the right timing, everything will come full circle. So just because I let go of my carpentry company, we now create carpentry here. My son works for me now. So I'm teaching him all of my skills so that he can go out and do that one. So just investing in yourself and letting the universe show you how it all comes together. The universe doesn't give you things to learn and do nothing with it. Watch it come full circle. Maybe you're just tired of not having things come full circle. So maybe it's time to invest in you to say, okay, I'm ready for things to come full circle.
Yeah. The importance of having that self-care time and giving to yourself is so important. And you emphasize and highlight that so well. A lot of people go through life and they just, I got to give my attention and time to everybody else. Somebody calls you, oh, I got to go do this thing, right? And it's sometimes so hard for us in this paradigm of society is sit down with myself, put my headphones on for an hour, and this is me time. And I'm not allowing anybody else. If it was the meeting with the president of the United States or meeting with another leader of another country, nope, I'm not available. I need to have me time, right? And having that is so important and very valuable. So really good.
Well, boundaries are important too. Learning when to say no to things that don't give you the yes, right? Like that, I think that was one of the last things we did was you said, where are you saying yes to things you should be saying no? That stuck with me ever since. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And learning those boundaries too, when you're in a company where people demand you, it's like letting go of that caregiver role that says, I need to be 24/7 on. You don't. The more you let go, the more people just show up.
Mm-hmm. And we're so blind to the yes, no, right? So automatic. I just always say yeah. And then what really happens is, right, we sat down and for anybody doing the yes, no actions, we sit down and it's triggering because it's like, oh no, I need to do that, right? But then you sit down and like you mentioned before, observe it. Why do I feel like I need to? Where is this coming from? And digging deeper. So hard journey to go on, facing the shadows, but that's where the work is, right? Yeah,
but that's the inner healing. That's the child healing. That connection for me was massive going into that caregiver role. Growing up in my situation where mom was unwell, I didn't have the abilities I have now. I didn't even know they existed. So now that I have them, it's like this need to help everybody else. But then it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, okay, well, here's your options. Here's what you can do to help yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super good. So for everyone listening into some of the work that Sheri's just kind of alluding to is identity shifting work. What identity am I owning today that's causing the results in my life? And the identity is always from something from childhood. We formed an identity as a coping mechanism because that saved our life, right? That's what we had to do. But later in life, it doesn't serve us anymore. It's not who we are. So we say, what do I need to shift into? And you're shifting into, I think, the creator role, right? As well as the leader role. A couple of other ones combined together. So really good.
And it's been a massive shift since then. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lots of new ideas, lots of new things coming out, lots of courses coming out. Like there's an endless supply of students and roles to do. And it's having a massive impact on a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the frequency you shifted into, right? It's just, you're in a different place where more flow can come into your life. Where the other side, it's hard. It's hard work. It's daunting. You're trying to force and push. And now you're in a more flow, and it's coming in really good. So, well, overall, Sheri, this has been fantastic. And, the last thing I always like to ask is, would you recommend this for anybody? Who do you think is a good fit for this? And would you say, just jump in or have the faith to go at it? Or, what are your thoughts on that as well?
I'd say it's for everyone. I would say don't hesitate. Go try it. Go take a leap of faith for yourself. That's all I did, and it changed my life. So try it. If you love it, take more. Do more. But really just start. if you never start, you don't know what you're missing. So just take a leap of faith. See what happens. The universe is supporting you, no problem.
That's right. The universe is there to back you. And if it's in your heart and it feels right, the mind may say, oh my goodness, what about the money? Or oh my goodness, what about this, right? But the mind is the trauma story. The heart is the soul center, right?
Yeah.
And being in that place.
If you're wondering if it's right for you, just ask for a sign. That's the best way to know if it's right for you. Say, you know what? If I'm supposed to take a leap of faith and do this, show me 111 and go take that leap of faith.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, Sheri, I know your time is so valuable. I really am honored to be here with you. I hope everyone got some value from today. I know they will, based on everything you mentioned, so many beautiful topics you brought up all at one time. So thanks again for being here and doing this.
Thank you, Scott.